and welcome to this TO Markets webinar on how to place your first trade. We have a lot of clients that have signed up with TO Markets. We'd like to welcome you. We know a lot are not necessarily familiar with trading foreign exchange, and certainly trading foreign exchange in the retail space. So we want to be able to familiarize you with the two trading platforms which we offer, and also for those of you that are that are familiar, this can just act as a little bit of a refresher. And this afternoon, we just want to be able to show you how to place your first trade. It's very simplistic. Lots of things we show you on here, but today I just want to go through that with you. At this point, I'm going to make a couple of assumptions that you've got all your credentials in place, that you've funded your account, because you can't trade if you haven't funded your account, that you've logged in, and you're going to see something very similar to what I have up here on the screen, regardless of whether you're looking at MT4 or MT5, which are the two different versions of MetaTrader we offer. The layout is not going to look too dissimilar. What is most important, with the cursor moving around over here, is the Market Watch box up here. Most of you will log in and it will have Market Watch already up, and it will probably have a certain number of symbols already listed. I say symbols, a certain number of currency pairs listed, maybe an equity indice or a commodity added to. You see here, there's actually a total of 152 different symbols that you can trade. I would really suggest, especially for new traders, do not add 152 symbols, because it will get very confusing to navigate around this Market Watch box. If you did want to add every single symbol, you can right click anywhere in the Market Watch box. Just right click, it brings down a drop down menu. You go in the middle where it says symbols, where it says show all, click, and bingo. You now have 152 symbols. I would suggest that's probably around 142 too many. So please think about it, pick and choose what you want to have listed up here, and go from there. I wouldn't load them all up. If you do accidentally load them all up, oh goodness, how do I get rid of them? Right click, go down here and hide all, and then it will probably go back to whatever the default setting was, with just this 9 or 10 listed up here. So outside of what you're going to have on a default when you first log in, let's just say you wanted, I just want you to know how to add a particular symbol. Two ways of doing it, just very quickly. Over here where it says click to add, just hit the plus sign. It's going to bring you here. This is for you to type in. If you start typing in the beginning of the symbol, it's going to bring up a drop-down menu, and you can just pick from that. So let's just say you had, you decided you wanted to trade the US dollar against the Mexican peso. So it's going to be USD, and I'm going to against MEX, and there it is. You can just hit return. It's going to bring up dollar MEX, and you can see here it's added dollar Mexican peso into your Market Watch. If you want to move that somewhere up or down, you just literally just click and drag, and off it goes. Second way to add symbols, right click anywhere in here where it has this symbols button here. This is going to bring up a pop-up box here, which is going to give you all the symbols that are going to be listed under a particular group. So we're going to have our Forex symbols here, we've got CFDs here, equities here, with all the individual equities, crypto there, and our TO Shield offering also, which I will go through actually in another video. So let's just say we wanted to add another Forex symbol. I don't know, let's just say you wanted to add Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. You found it here. To get it to added, you just double click. When you double click, the little dollar sign here is yellow. That means it has been added. You just hit OK down the bottom, and you can see Aussie CAD has been added. Again, you want to drag it around, you just click and hold and move it around. I want to bring it down to the bottom again. He said. He said. There we go. It's not that hard, even I can do it. So just click and drag, and you can move it around. So you have the symbols up there that you want to trade. You decide you want to go and place your first trade. You're really excited. It's like, how do I do this? Okay. The easiest and most simple way to place a trade on MetaTrader, either MT4 or MT5, is simply to pick the symbol you want to trade, go on the line there, double click. It's going to bring up a box. Okay. This box is going to have the current market price, the bid on the left, the offer on the right. If you wish to buy, like here it says buy, you're going to end up dealing on this price on the right, the offer, right? You can buy where the market is offered. If you want to sell, you're going to deal with this price on the left, which is the bid. Okay, so you can sell onto the bid and you can buy from the offer. In terms of this box, this is fairly standard again for MT4, MT5. It will do the same thing. It will bring up a little chart over here. Not something which I've ever really found particularly useful on a dealing box, but it does. Don't be surprised by it. Up the top here, it will just tell you what currency pair you're trading. So just as a double check, just in case you've had a bit of a fat finger up here and you thought you were clicking on euro and you traded on sterling dollar, it will show you up here. If you wish to trade it and you were in the wrong one, you can just hit the drop down and you can go to maybe the one you want to click on. So you didn't want to click on euro, but you want to click on sterling. You just double click and now it's going to bring up sterling. You can see down here the price has changed to the sterling price. So we'll stick on sterling. Why not? My home country currency. Type this box. When you click on Market Watch and you bring up this box, it's going to give you a choice of two types of trading. The majority are going to do what's referred to as market execution. What does that mean? That means you want to trade right here, right now, or whatever the current market price is. Okay, the current market price is whatever's down here. It does give you the option to leave a pending order. What is a pending order? A pending order is essentially means you want to trade at a price other than the market price. So let's say you wanted to buy sterling, but you didn't want to buy it at 127.01. Maybe you wanted to buy it at 1.2680. You could put a pending order in to go and do that. I will show you that a little bit later, but for now I just want to show you how to put a live trade on. So market execution, and that's the default. That's the default when you click up here. So if you want to trade at the market, that's what it's going to bring up. Volume. On MetaTrader, when you bring up a deal ticket here, it's going to bring up the volume in lots. LOTS, lots. One lot on any of our FX symbols is equivalent to 100,000 of the notional currency. So in this case, we're trading sterling. One lot is equivalent to 100,000 pounds, British pounds. If it was euro, one lot would be 100,000 euro. If it was Australian dollars, it'd be 100,000 Australian dollars against the US dollar. So very important you keep that in mind. We do have that on our website. Please do refer to the lot sizes on there, especially when you're trading CFDs, so you understand exactly what you are trading and the amount that you're trading, so you can manage your risk appropriately. But for all FX pairs, one lot is equal to 100,000 of the notional currency you are trading. Okay, so I deal here on this one lot is going to be 100,000 pounds. If I wanted to do 50,000 pounds, in half a lot. If I want to do 1,000 pounds, put in 0.01. Okay, 0.01 of a lot is also referred to as a micro lot. That is the smallest amount that you can trade on MetaTrader is a micro lot of whatever it is that you're trading. Okay. For the sake of this, just to keep it a little bit cleaner, I'm going to go back to having one lot. Okay. Stop loss and take profit. You actually have the ability to put a stop loss and a take profit in at this point on a position that you haven't yet taken. So essentially, you could put a stop here, say at 126.80, a take profit here at 127.80, and then once you hit buy, you're going to see that populate down here. So let's do it. We'll put in one spot 2680. there, and we'll put one spot 2780 over here. Okay. The comment box here, that's really just for your purposes. You can put a comment in there if you're doing different strategies and stuff and you wanted to put something in. Otherwise, it's pretty much blank. And here, it's up to you, sell or buy, right? So we decide we want to buy. Hit buy, and it says here, market buy one, done. Okay, the shotgun goes off, and you have done your first trade. So now you've done your first trade. How do you see your first trade? How do you monitor it? How do you amend it? How do you close it out if you want to go close it out? Well, down the bottom here, and this box down the very bottom, you're going to see a large number of tabs. The very first tab is trade. So this tab is going to show you all of your open positions above the gray line, and below it, if you had any pending orders, it will show them there too. Okay, but for this, we've just done our first trade here. It's above the line. It's live. It's going to show the symbol, which was sterling against US dollar. It's going to assign it a ticket number, the time at which the trade was placed. Please note, this is MetaTrader time. What is MetaTrader time when it's around? Quite simply, the MetaTrader day starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US. That will be 0000. Why? Because that is the time of day when the settlement date changes globally. Okay? Any trade done after 5 o'clock will settle one day later than it did before 5 o'clock. There are exceptions. I'm not going to confuse you. That's the rule of thumb. That is why MetaTrader day starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So when you see the clock on here, if you saw this clock here said you've done a trade at 4.004.00, so sort of like 4 o'clock if you like, MetaTrader time, that would be the equivalent of 9 o'clock in New York, and I guess 2 o'clock in London, 3 o'clock in the majority of mainland Europe, and so on and so forth. So that's what that timestamp is. Look on here, what you did, when you bought or sold, the amount. Now the amount, you dealt in one lot, so why is it showing 100,000? Well, on MetaTrader 5, MT5, you have the choice. You can click anywhere in this box, right click, and as it will drop down here, comes to volumes. It will allow you to look at your position in lot size or amounts. I had it set as amounts. I'm going to change it to lots, and you see it will change to one. Okay, one lot. Nothing's changed. It's exactly the same. But if you prefer looking at it in actual amounts, the actual amount where you dealt, then just click on amount instead, and it will show you 100,000 or 100K. It shows you the price at which you dealt, one spot 27003. Remember, we put a stop loss and a take profit in on the order, which is showing up here. This price here is the current market price. Okay, so the market has moved since you put your trade on. This is where it currently is. And with that, it's going to reval your position at the current market price to show whether you're in profit or showing a loss on the trade. And right now, obviously, it's still very close to where we put the trade on, but it's showing a tiny loss. The one other column here is swap. If you held that position beyond the end of the day, that being the meta day, so 5 o'clock New York time again, when the settlement day changes, there will be a swap charge applied to the position. You may get charged or you may get a credit depending on what the currency pair is. That would then show up here. But for this, we're just going to keep it simple. So you put the trade on, you decide you want to take the trade off. You've had enough. You want to take profit, take your loss. Got to go and pick the kids up from school and don't want to run it, even though you've got to stop loss and take profit. Simply just double click over the price, brings another box up. It's going to automatically fill in all the details. So it's sterling, it's market execution, it's the lot size, the position size that you have. It still shows the stop and the take profit. This button down the bottom in yellow, it says close, right? It's going to close the whole position. You press that, you hear the shotgun gun off, and you're out of that position. We look at the bottom on the trade tab, you no longer see that position. If we go to history, go 2 tabs along to history, this history tab will show you all the positions that you've had. You can actually bring up your history going back to whenever you first put a position on. It can show all your history, or you can customize it to show only a small part of your history. But what it will do, the way I set it up, is basically chronologically, so I end up with the most recent trade sitting at the bottom of mine. And here it is. This is the trade you just put on, the £100,000 you bought. This shows the time at which you took the trade off, better time. The price at which you took the trade off. Okay, so you bought at 1 spot 27003, sold 1 spot 27012. Well, it's higher, so you've made profit. And there it is, $9. You have made a $9 profit. And that is very, very simply how to put on your first trade. Now let's do a quick CFD. Let's do gold. Okay. So we decided we want to go and trade on gold. Same thing. Well, we've already got gold in our market watch up here. So anywhere on that line, we're going to double click. Brings up the deal box. So we're going to do this just a little bit differently this time. All right. As I said, this is going to default to market execution. That means trading right here, right now, at whatever the market price is. But let's say you didn't want to trade here. Let's say you wanted to buy gold a little bit lower. All right. So you're not going to get filled immediately. But if gold went down to, say, I don't know, 1336.80, you wanted to buy. Okay. So what you can do is, again, the volume here is always going to show in lots. Go up, down, type it in, however you're comfortable doing it. All right, I'm just going to stick to one lot. You can put a stop and a take profit in as well. I'm not going to do that on this one, just to speed up the process. But I'm going to leave a pending order. Okay. So pending order, I want to go and buy below the market. So I'm going to leave a buy limit order. I'm going to have a volume of one lot. For gold, when you buy one lot, you are not buying 100,000 ounces of gold. Okay, what you are doing is you're buying 100 ounces of gold, because one lot of gold is 100 ounces. That is on our website. Really suggest that you check that out before doing any trading, especially on non-FX pairs, to familiarize yourself with those lot sizes. I can't emphasize that enough. If you're not familiar with MetaTrader, it can be confusing, and different brokers can have different lot sizes. Okay, is not necessarily standard. You know, we might have one lot of gold as 100 ounces. You know, there might be a broker out there that has one lot of gold as being 10 ounces. Might have it as 200 ounces. So it's really important that you familiarize yourself. So we put the buy limit in. The volume we're going to have is one lot. The price, well, if it's a buy limit, we've got to leave it below the market. We want to buy at a lower price than it currently is. And I said 1336.80. I'm not going to put a stop or take profit on that, just to keep the speed things up. Expiration, when you put in a pending order, it's going to give you some options here. GTC, good till cancelled. Okay, if you leave that order good till cancelled, unless the broker itself actually has some limitation on what good till cancelled means, it really does mean good till cancelled. If the market didn't trade there and you came back in 5 years and the market never went back down to 1336.80, that order would still be sitting there. So just keep that in mind, but we'll leave that way for now. And then when you hit place, that means you're going to place this bid. You're not going to deal on the market price. You're placing that bid. Hit place. And okay. And there's that order. Okay, so 1336.80. We want to buy, because we have it set to volume, so it's showing the real volume, even though we couldn't show that in the ticket. We've got 100 ounces. So we're going to sit here and see if whether we can buy gold at 1336.80. You will notice that a pending order is below below the gray line. Okay, so it wouldn't show any swap because you don't actually have the position yet. It won't show any profit, loss, or profit because you haven't placed the position yet, but it will show the current market price just as a reference. Okay, so you don't actually have the position, but it's pending. Okay, if you want to cancel that order, you just don't want to have it there anymore for whatever reason. Well, actually, you know what? The market price is ticking down a little bit. Maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, we did get lucky. All right, so the order got filled. Okay, so the price of gold has just moved a little bit lower, and now you can see that the order got filled, and we've now bought 100 ounces of gold at 1336.80. Okay, the market price is now lower, 1336.62, and the profit on that position is showing up here, or the loss on it actually is at the moment. So that's a pending order, and that's how that works. Again, if you just want to close the position out, we can just double click on the price. It's going to bring up the box. Again, it's just going to populate the information automatically. The symbol, market execution, the amount at the bottom here. We're just going to hit the yellow one to close it. Hit close. That position has now disappeared from your trade blotter. Go over to your history blotter, and you can see right here at the bottom, you had your 100 ounces of gold. You bought at 1336.80, and you sold them at 1336.77 for a $3 loss. And that is pretty much how you put on a trade. Use Market Watch, add symbols, take symbols away as you wish to. Either use the click to add button here, or right click and use this symbol tab here. That'll bring them all up. You can add and delete as you so choose, and then just really double click on the price, and just bear in mind you are going to buy at the market ask and you're going to sell at a market bid each time. And when you do, along the bottom here, along your trade blotter, it's going to show all the open trades above the gray line and any pending orders you have below the gray line. When you close the position out, go over to your history tab, and then you're going to have chronologically all the trades that you've done with all the information that you could want, including times, amounts, directions, the price you've dealt, commission, swap, and of course the really important thing, the P&L over at the end. And that's really about it. If you do have any questions for us, please do not hesitate to contact a member of our support staff. I would suggest utilizing your demo accounts to get yourself familiarized with different ways of dealing and moving things around, and adding different symbols, taking them away, and also getting used to the different lot sizes, and play around with it. And we wish you the very best luck with your trading.